Less stuff, more subscription. I recently read an article which discusses a concern for the new economy of subscription versus ownership, so I thought I'd put my 2 cents in on what I think. If our economy was based on oil in the past, and if that oil fueled its growth, it obviously had a significant amount of time to build a lot of capital and equity value within society. Leverage then obviously works throughout the business cycle. However, leverage growth in consumption became the commodity that we believed we could build together with governments and banks collaborating in building these financial assets basically with no capital. And then, of course, came 2008. But it wasn't a full failure, was it? I mean, economically, it did work, right? Sort of. Socially, it did too. Healthcare, for example. You see, I'm glad that in general, we in society are living, more safe, more healthy, and we're living longer. There is something to be said about, the many advancements within society. However, in my mind, we're still going to need to shift. The consumption leverage which grew housing starts, which fueled economic growth, also resulted in high government debt, and now a division in society where it makes more sense to work for the state. Not to mention, as well, a significant wealth gap between the rich and the poor. All of this, for me, tells me why we are, just by our nature, going to have to change our course. What our grandparents set up is no longer sustainable. Or in other words, we in the financial industry are being challenged by the simple nature of nature itself, and that is the leverage efficiency. We are learning in the financial part of the world that we can impact for good or for bad, and good financial versus bad financial is part of it. So if oil is becoming less efficient and therefore basing our leverage system upon it for the consumer retail investor is also becoming more and more of a challenge, and so we need to adjust it. We as consumer retail investors are looking at the cost, for example, of moving from one location to another location in terms of price of oil. And we need to change that. We need solutions that cause us to walk more and bike more and use more public transit more. Subscription versus ownership and getting greener, I think, will help. So this is a society thing as much as anything else. And for me, it's simple. If we no longer move around and rely on an inefficient leverage to achieve that for us, that has the opportunity to transform us into something new. And so subscription-based is less consumption-based and therefore more efficiently based. And this, by the nature of economics, should provide us the ability to create more efficient leverage, which ultimately requires capital to build it. And the circular economy and investment leverage could have a positive impact, both in the financial community as well as society itself. All of which provides us the opportunity to become more inclusive in a new shared economy. The consumer retail investor is evolving, and there is a new opportunity to impact society. And so the question for me really is who should benefit from this new opportunity to leverage? And I vote in favor of the middle class and those who want to work hard, which are those of us who are willing to work hard potentially right now in the green energy sector of the economy. Economies of scale in the energy source are providing those who wish to harness it the opportunity to leverage it, which isn't as simple as it sounds. This new piece of equipment on our homes, for example, now means changes in valuation of real estate. No longer is real estate only about housing us and lifestyle. It's about empowering us and harnessing some of the independence off-grid. This simple change has the opportunity to influence our future, and the question for us really then becomes, yet again, who should benefit? So overall, I'm optimistic, and I believe we can all benefit, both from our world's perspective of less consumption and from our society's perspective of opportunity to build new kinds of wealth and value. And so I'm looking forward to that which is about to happen, and have a meetup group every 2 weeks in downtown Toronto at 6 p.m. And you can see more information in this YouTube blog podcast for that information. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks. All the best. Will Prinzen, founder, Security.